I have a question for you. If you're Muslim, you're watching this, my question is, why do you also feel lost? Because I feel like us Muslims are far more lost than we actually needed to be. We are so lost in indecisiveness, yet we are the one that's supposed to have the faith. Why don't we have faith in God? Why don't we have faith in our religion? Why don't we exude faith in the path that we choose to make? And I've got the answer for you. You're not gonna like it. What is so sad for us Muslims is that we have a disconnected view of deen and dunya. We have the disconnected view of, if I'm going to school and I'm learning, that's my deen, and that's not gonna help me in the akhirah. And we think that, oh, if I stay home, read my Quran, and all do halakas all year long, that's my dunya, that's my deen. And it doesn't work like that. Deen, the fact that it's deen negates everything else. Everything else is entwined with everything you do. Deen is like a philosophy of life. Since Islam is a philosophy of life, don't you think that every single action that you take in alignment with Islam is a reward to you and your year after? Therefore, going to school is for your year after as well. Engaging in learning is for your year after as well. Reading Quran is for your year after as well. Having best attitude towards the world and the people and good perspective is for your year after as well. We can't be going on having this distinct view of, oh my gosh, she's in the dunya. Oh my god, he's in the dunya. Oh my god. Of course, chasing dunya is when you solely focus on the enjoyment of this life and you don't make use of your time for the benefit of yourself and the people around you. Why as Muslims are lost when we have this precious religion that teaches us that we need faith. Faith is exuded in every single part. You actually need faith to go to Jannah. We need to get rid of this distinct view. Only with faith you can get that paradise. Allah did not promise paradise to those who don't have faith in Him. Allah promised paradise to the people that have faith in Him. And that's what's matter. Think of faith as every single part of your life, not only when you're praying, not when you're reading Quran, but when you also engage with people, when you also make decisions for yourself in life, and when you also seek guidance in the things that you want to do. Faith absolutely matters for Jannah. This one leads me to another point where we are constantly told, put your trust in Allah. Many of us don't know what that trust look like, to put our trust in Allah, because we have never done it. And trust in Allah does not have a playbook. You can listen to 1,000 lecture on how to put trust in Allah, but if you have never exercised how to put the trust in Allah, how can you have trust in Allah? And in that exercise is when you take the action. Those actions are the evidence of how you are putting trust in Allah despite your unknown, despite your fear of your abilities. That is what trust in Allah is for you. And because there's no a playbook, we can only learn from others, from our history, from how other people have dealt, the challenges that other people have learned, which can give us the inspiration to do it. Even then, it's not enough because it requires you. Trust in Allah requires you to have faith in the actions that you take those actions, that small action you've been neglecting every single time. That is the trust in Allah that you're neglecting. The ultimate point that I want to make is that the path of faith, and it took me so long to realize this because I was also extremely lost in indecisiveness, and that is the path of faith is lonely path. It's not with nobody. The fact that it's lonely makes us feel scared. We think that everybody else must be in touch with what we do, and sometimes life is not the case. Certain decisions that you choose to make, you have to walk alone. Literally think about everybody around you. Everybody around you have some point walk alone, and you have benefited from that, their decision of walking alone, and they might not have tell you. They might keep that secret to themselves because it's their own path. It might be your mom, your dad, your elder sister, your elder brother, anybody in the community. They have walked that path of lonely path by themselves with God in mind, and that is the path that we need to take. However, we are scared of it because we think there is a playbook for it, and there is no playbook for walking alone. Alone doesn't, you're not actually alone if you ever think about it, especially when you have God in the center. That means the most highest power, the most everything, the most loving, the provider, the protector that you thought of him is there with you. Wouldn't you want that to be the source of your inspiration, the source of your motivation? Nobody doesn't have to factor how much input you have put into something, but only they see it. Today there are people that are saying, I have put so much work, but nobody recognizes it. Of course, nobody is going to recognize it. However, the only one that is going to recognize your input is the Most High. And if you were to put your trust in the Most High and have faith in everything that you do, put him in the center, your reward with him is absolutely greater than the validation that you might want to seek from outside world. And that is the ultimate position that you want to be in. You want every action that you take to be in touch with Allah's pleasure. And when you actually realize that every single thing makes sense, you're not all the time in desperate position. You're not all the time seeking new information. You choose to do something, you make Allah at the center of it, and then you move forward. I know we talked about how faith does not have a playbook to it, but then how do we actually have faith? Faith is half of patience. Patience is when we express gratitude. Patience is when you do something in the meantime. When you have patience, you learn to be grateful at the same time. You show gratitude. A lot of people have disconnected view with gratitude. They think gratitude is equal to complacency. That's absolutely not the case. Gratitude does not equate complacency within the, oh, I must be grateful, I must not have these sort of dreams that I want. No, you must have them. You're created to do good things in life. You must have them. And being grateful means that the present moment you realize you need to change, and you taking action towards that change that you want. Despite taking those actions, you realize all the beautiful things that are around you, the air that you're breathing, the people that are around you, how nice somebody is to you, how nice your sibling is to you, how fortunate you have the things that you have. You work with the things that you have. That's gratitude. That is when you press gratitude to the things that you have. For now, it's so easy to express gratitude when you have it all, but it's so hard to express it when you actually don't have what you want. And that is where your focus needs to be. Being present with the things that you have right now and appreciating them and using them at the best of your ability in moving forward, and still looking forward to optimistic life in the end. I have this analogy that I always use, and it has always helped me. And that analogy is this: imagine there is a huge tunnel, pitch dark. At the end, you can only see a glimpse of light. Everybody else is walking towards that glimpse of light, and you just started. You see people ahead of you, and you're like, wow, nobody has ever come back to tell me if they have seen the full glimpse of light. So why should I take this path? I should have just quit. There's no point in seeing this light since nobody has come to tell me that there's a full picture of light. So I'll just quit. What is your state of mind about the person who's all the way at the front? You're thinking, oh my God, they must already seen the lights. They must absolutely chilling right now. They must have their own way they wanted to. They must absolutely in relaxation. That's why they don't want to come. They're enjoying. But what you don't know is even the person ahead, in their perspective, they're like, I've walked so much. I walked on pedals. I walked on so many different things, pitch dark state. I still can see this full picture of light. That means there's no such a thing as full picture of light. And then they realize that as long as I can see that glimpse of light, is my way of being optimistic, and I'll keep walking. Would you rather be the one who give up or the one who's going to keep walking? I would rather be the one who's going to keep walking, and that is what I've been doing. Keep going, because the light I use here is a metaphor of the things that you want to figure out, the idea of having it all figured out. And that idea is an illusion idea, because there's no such a thing until death take you that. And if you were to die at the state of complacency and neglectful and laziness, what would you answer to God? However, if you were to die in the state of optimism, having realization that there's no such a thing as full light, therefore I have to keep walking, then you get that mercy to go to Jannah. You get that mercy to see the Jannah that you always wanted. That is what I have for you. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that it gave you the resilience that you need. Take action. Your action is gonna prove to you how faithful you are. Just take that small action. You might not see the result, but keep going. Focus on that input.